Hi Aries, welcome to your February 2024 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your rising sign, or you're also known as your ascendant. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. With that said, these are obviously, so the astrology that I use is whole sign, tropical, Western astrology, for those of you that would like to know. All of the information about the transits that I'm looking at will be in the description box below. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can do all of that in the description as well. If you are watching this as they are released, then my tarot course will be up and out there for your purchasing pleasure. So if you want to get a space, you know what to do. All right, so it would be lovely to have you. Now, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's get straight into it. So what is happening, right? It is a pretty big month, I have to say. Now, as many of you are aware, on the 21st of January, Pluto, the Lord of transformation, change, secrets, power, control, etc., moved into the sign of Aquarius. This is a big deal. One, because this is the second pass, right? We had a little taster for about 7 weeks in 2023 from March 7th, right? And then we had, and now we are getting another taster, but this will finish on September the 8th, where it will come back into the sign of Capricorn one last time, and then it will move back into Aquarius for the next 20 years, right? So this is a big deal. Now, Pluto's coming in. Last year, it kind of flirted with 0 degrees. I think it literally just kissed 1 degree, but then it came back into Capricorn, right? So this time round, we get a nice long stint of this. February is a massive power point because not only is Pluto now sitting at 0 degrees of Aquarius, it's going to meet every single one of the personal planets. This didn't happen last year. And not only that, as if that wasn't enough, all of this is happening at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Let me cast your mind back to 2020 when we had the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn coming into a conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Pluto's already activated a little bit of this point. It's going to do it again, but only this time it will move up to, I think it's like 2 degrees this time. So we're getting a really good, strong taste and a flavour of what this is going to be. But each one of the personal planets, so Mercury meets Pluto in the sky once a year, Venus meets Pluto in the sky once, I think it's about a year and some, and then Mars meets Pluto in the sky once every sort of 2 years. So we haven't had this happen. We didn't have this happen last year, right? Because we only had a short time of Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius, and there wasn't any of the personal planet energy. So this is a big deal. Now, on the 5th of the month, straight out of the gate, Mercury, where are you, Mercury, is going to come into a conjunction with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. This is happening for you in your 11th house. Pluto is now in the sign of Aquarius. This is for a good while, right? As I've said. Now, Mercury coming into a conjunction with Pluto is going to bring secrets to light for sure for all of us in some regards. But it could also bring some kind of challenge in communication, maybe even in terms of health, right? This is all possibilities now. One thing that I would encourage you to really look out for at this time is your self-talk, how you're talking to yourself, how you allow your mind to fluctuate, where you allow your mind to go is also another thing that you need to look at. And there's a reason for this. Mercury for you in your chart rules Gemini and Virgo. Gemini rules your 3rd house. Your 3rd house is your mind, right? And Gemini is a very communicative sign. Mercury is our thoughts. So how you speak to yourself is likely to be really uncovered at this moment in time, and it will reach a peak moment around this moment in time, right? Around the 5th of February. Now, you'll feel this coming in a couple of, maybe 3 days before. You'll feel it going out after 3 days, after, because obviously it's a transit, right? It doesn't just happen on the day and then that's it. And this is beginning a brand new 1 year cycle of Mercury and Pluto anyway, right? So pretty big deal. Your Virgo for you occupies the 6th house. So this represents your physical body, your health and vitality. Have you looked after yourself or not? Now, all of this will be highlighted to you for sure with Mercury coming into that conjunction with Pluto. But all of this for you is happening in your 11th house. Future goals and plans, the dreams and hopes and aspirations that you have for your future are what's being highlighted for you at this moment in time. And also potentially the people that can facilitate helping you make that happen. This can be also like this is also the space of friends and social connections. Although I see this more as like things like your broader social circle rather than like your friends for life kind of people. Now, Mercury rules mates and siblings and all of those things as well. Pluto rules powerful people. So coming into your 11th house, you could be connecting with some kind of very powerful person. Maybe they're very intense as well. Pluto's a very intense and comes in some regards as well quite an imposing energy. Now, I've got a feeling that this is going to connect you to some powerful people. Interestingly enough, this is being emphasized in a chart means that you could play. So the 11th house that's being emphasized for you at the moment throughout this whole month, basically, because everything's hitting Pluto. The 11th house can be where we play a supporting or assistive role to a power player in some regard, right? So where you play a big supporting role to the person that is the main star in some regard. I've seen a lot of this actually with 11th, people that have prominent 11th house stuff going on, right? So this could be an executive assistant job, something along those lines. Now, if you are up for the challenge, Aries, I know you always are, then this could be really great for you because Pluto for you rules your 8th house of so it rules Scorpio as a sign, but your 8th house is occupied by Scorpio. All right, so this means that other people's money and finances are likely to be a part of this combination, especially because Mercury rules money as well. The two in combination speak to some kind of paperwork or legal matter or financial matter, and it may also suggest that siblings could go through a tough time like together but become really close because of that hard time that they go through, right? So that's Mercury coming through this space for you. Now on the 13th of the month, Mars, the planet of passion, excitation, irritation, anger, frustration, war, battle, challenge, metal, sharp metals. It rules surgeons, it rules lasers, it rules fire and heat. It's our inner willpower. Well, Mars is your ruling planet, and that coming into a conjunction with the planet Pluto. This could be explosive, right? There's no getting around it. This could be that you yourself become very intense, and it could also see you drawing on levels of power, levels of personal power that you've never experienced. But never experienced before. I just realised we forgot the tarot, right? We forgot the cards for your Mercury conjunct Pluto. So let's do that first before I go any further on this Mars conjunction, which is a big deal for you. All right, so you have this is for Mercury, by the way, on the 5th of the month. Mercury conjunct Pluto, so you've got the Chariot card, so things are definitely heating up. You've got this with the Knight of Swords, and you've got this with the Emperor. The Emperor is you. This is your ruling card. I gotta say, this is going to be some big power play conversations that are likely to be happening, potentially with a power player in your life. This could be a boss, it could be a significant other. This could be also some kind of, remember I said legal matter. The Knight of Swords has a decidedly battle sort of disputory kind of energy, and the Emperor represents the law. So there could be big conversations around legal matters, paperwork, financial matters at this time. It's all very possible. Now, because you've got this with the Chariot card, I am going to say things will very likely develop quite fast this whole month. Mercury is an energy of speed, right? And so coming into Aquarius, where in modern astrology, Mercury is considered exalted in the sign of Aquarius. So very, very interesting. Now, The other way that these cards could also play out is for those of you that have interviews, job interviews, anywhere that you're having an interview, a conversation that really feeds into your personal future around more money, around different work, different responsibilities, etc. This could literally see you coming up trumps in some way. So I absolutely love this for you. It's a powerhouse. All right, so on the 13th, as I was saying, Mars, your ruling planet, comes into a conjunction at 0 degrees again of Aquarius. Mars, your ruler, has yet to meet Pluto in Aquarius, and this is going to happen at least 6 more times from now until this transit of Pluto moving through the sign of Aquarius comes to its end. But this is the first one. So pay attention to this one, because it's going to show you what this next sort of effectively the next 2 years, yes, but really as a larger arc, this next 20 years is going to unfold for you. All right, so your mind, your body, your personality are getting amplified, switched on in some really big way, maybe even transformed in some way, because Pluto rules transition. It rules death, it rules secrets, it rules the underside, the underbelly. It also rules the things that come from within the depths. And one of the things that I like about Pluto personally, it seems to reveal the true hidden potential of something. It certainly has to shake shit up in order to do that, but it really does have that power. Now, this for you, Mars, as I guess, also rules your 8th house. So in ancient astrology, Mars was the ruler of Scorpio. So this is basically your ruling planet meeting the modern ruler of Scorpio in the sign of Aquarius. That's a lot of 8th house energy being lit up in some regard for you, right? Even though it comes through the 11th house, which is there's just a lot of 8th house stuff going on here. This could see you really proactive about changing your groups, about changing your social circle, your social networks. This could see you really starting to understand the value of the people that you're connected to. It could see you start to really think about how playing a supportive role of some sort to a person that you look at and think, you know what, this person might be up and coming. This could be about you really getting proactive about building sort of strategies to move forward. Now, Mars is also a severing energy, so this could also see you releasing or letting go of health and appearance goals, right? Things that, so maybe you say, right, you know what, from now on, I'm going to stop eating meat. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to look better, feel better, blah, 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 whatever the case might be, right? Especially in line with a crisis of identity. Pluto, crisis. Mars is you. A crisis of identity might happen at the moment. And so you sort of say to yourself, right, all of this has to change. All of this has to shift. All of this has to be different now. I need something different. I crave something different. And so you go on this massive process, Mars, of cutting out anything that doesn't feed into your future. 11th house in Aquarius, right? You might start tracking things using apps, because it's in Aquarius, so technology. You might get an online coach. You might start an online business of some sort. There are so many ways that this could go, and there's a lot of positive here, but there's also a lot of challenge in it as well. There's no getting around that. All right, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. If you've been with me long enough, you know that's how I am. So you've got the 6 of Pentacles. You've got the 4 of Pentacles, wow, and you've got the 10 of Cups. So the 6 of Pentacles with the 4 of Pentacles, there's some element of this coming into balance, right? So part of what you might be trying to do or to create or to have for yourself might have a decidedly physical or tangible feel to it, whereby you are trying to really get a handle on some kind of savings goal. That's possible. You might have to act on somebody else's behalf when it comes to a home or a property. That 10 of Cups suggests that this may have something to do with your own home. So if you're thinking about purchasing a home, investing in a home, if that's your big sort of goal for the future, this bodes very well. But I am going to say you might find that the passion and the ruthlessness that you pursue with this, it kind of takes even you by surprise, right? So it's an interesting one for sure. I like these cards though, because it does kind of feel like it is a very financial slant to me. And then the 4 of Pentacles, speaking to the physical body, one thing that I do want you to watch out for is your liver. and especially your liver, your gallbladder, and also, you know, the level of energy that you allow sort of to process through your body. Now, on the 22nd of the month, Mars and Venus, the Lord and Lady, the celestial lovers, are going to come into a conjunction in the 11th house, right? So, interestingly enough, that happens, is it? I don't believe it's at 0 degrees, but don't hold me to that. So let's put that one there like that. All right, so your ruler and his celestial lover Venus come together in a powerful embrace in the same sign as Pluto, and it's important because even though this is still like 7 degrees away from Pluto, because Pluto is such a power player, this is technically still a conjunction, right? Because we allow a 10 degree or up to a 10 degree orb for Pluto because it's such a power player. So this is technically still a conjunction, right? Even though this is at 7 degrees, Pluto is powerful enough to still have an effect on this. This is a fresh start in relationship dynamics. It's a fresh start in your resources, your money, and even your relationships with and around those things. Whatever the case might be here for you, this is a powerful and transformative change to all things, all of the things that I mentioned, right? So your money, your relationships, your outlook. Venus is your talents, right? And so coming into a connection with Mars, this could see you get really proactive about finding a way to shine and allowing those talents to come to the surface or to let them be seen. And because they're coming into that connection with Pluto, this is like pulling out all of the stops, all the talents, all the skills, all the shit that you've hidden, that you don't let people see that you're really good at, that you can do in your damn sleep. This is the time where that stuff is going to start to rise to the surface now. It might be that you're called on to navigate a really challenging situation, and it's like you do it with such power, Mars, Pluto, and like grace and poise, Venus, that you might sort of garner the respect of some kind of powerful person or group, or maybe even you gain some kind of larger oh god, no, I'm never have. It's so funny, people always say to me, like, I've seen a few people in the comments like, this guy's belly is so big, and it's like, I'm a sugar fiend, trust me. I've never, like, I might have a beer or a lager once in like every 3 years. I can't stand beer or lager, it's just never. So that's not a Freudian slip, I can assure you. Now, sidebar, right? This might help you garner some kind of respect from a powerful person or group, as I was saying, or gaining some kind of larger recognition than expected. So for this, you've got the 5 of Cups. So it's like some kind of loss or release that you go through with the Empress and the 2 of Pentacles. This I actually feel like is you really looking at where some kind of level of delayed gratification can actually really be of service to you at this moment in time. What I also like about this combination, even with the 5 of Cups, is that you get a handle on what your personal overindulgences are. So interestingly enough, Venus rules your 2nd house, which is occupied by Taurus. And this for you actually represents, Taurus is your Taurus, or your 2nd house rather, is your food. It's what you like to eat, what you ingest, what you are more prone to sort of reach for when the time comes. And the Empress is Venus, right? So this speaks really loudly for you. In terms of money and resources, there's going to be some kind of improvement, but it's almost like it comes about in a way that isn't necessarily happy. No, not happy is probably the wrong word, but isn't necessarily easy. That's probably the word that I was looking for. And then finally, on the 28th of the month, the Sun, Mercury, and the Sun, Mercury, and obviously that's quite packed now. The Sun, Mercury, and Saturn are coming into a conjunction. It's about a 3-degree orb, depending on how you look at it, right? But this triple conjunction is a pretty big deal. Venus and Mars are still connecting in Aquarius at this time. And then you've got all of this happening now, this triple conjunction in your 12th house. The 12th house can be a place of self-undoing, enemies, challenges. It's also the house of the past and a place of endings, right? So if Saturn represents limitation, structure, death, Saturn actually ruled death in the old world. And Mercury is communication, and the Sun rules your children and creativity, along with your own creative power and ideas. You could hear from a loved one, so like somebody that's already passed over, via a dream. Mercury moving through the 12th house can make us very psychic, right? It can make us very intuitive. And it really is a communication energy, right? The Sun for you rules the 5th house, which is where Leo is for you. This could see you giving birth to something here that you realize very quickly could be a challenge or a burden to do, but it will still be really fulfilling for you, right? So it could be great. Will it be easy with such a combination of planets here? No, probably not. But this is definitely one to watch out for. For this, you've got the World card. Look at that, right? So whatever this is, it will level you up. It's not going to be easy. It will be a challenge, but it will level you up, right? On top of that, look, you've got look at that, right? The Fool card. So you have the Alpha and Omega cards here. And you've got the 5 of Pentacles. So acknowledging some kind of loss, allowing something to be released. This, because the 12th house is also a house of sacrifice. So there might be something that you realize, in order to go for this, in order to go for the great, in order to have this thing, I'm going to have to let go of this, right? So you come into that realization very quickly. But I love this combination, even with the 5 of Pentacles. Now, on a more practical level, the 5 of Pentacles is asking you to really look after your physical body. All right, so your new moon, where are you, Luna, is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. So let's move these. Sun and the moon in Aquarius. All right, let's move Mercury. Let's move Saturn. Let's move these big boys as well. Neptune can stay there though, and Pluto can stay there. All right, so that new moon for you falls again in the 11th house. This is one of the reasons I've chosen the transits that I have, because there's such an emphasis on this 11th house, and that card seems to want out, so we'll take that one. So you got the gate 36 in greener grass. The message behind this is, as you would expect, not all, it's, the saying goes, the grass is greener where you water it, not always on the other side. This card basically asks you to look at what it is that you're telling yourself is better. Because the truth is, there's never really anything better or worse. It's just different to what we already have. And so this new moon in the sign of Aquarius in your 11th house, it is going to see you looking at your future goals, desires, hopes, dreams, plans, wishes, who you've got available to help you make that happen. And it's going to see you getting really real with yourself about whether that is fulfilling or not. So really interesting stuff. And then we've got that's on the 9th of February is the new moon. And then on the 24th of February, you have the full moon in the sign of Virgo, right? So for your full moon message, you have the gate 12 and caution. So this for you is in your 6th house of physical health and vitality. You're being urged to really look after your physical health and vitality, to pay attention to your health, to pay attention to the body. One thing that Kelly Rosano used to say that I absolutely used to love was when she said, that the body is the messenger, right? So pay attention around this full moon, because it's going to highlight to you whether you have or haven't looked after yourself. Now, given the fact that Mercury rules the sign of Virgo, when Mercury comes into a conjunction of Pluto, if you get any sort of symptoms or little niggles or whatever, that's the point at which you look after it. Don't wait for the full moon, right? The full moon's just going to highlight or exacerbate whatever the symptoms might be. Whereas the heads up of this could be a problem or an issue later down comes when Mercury conjuncts Pluto, and that will happen around the 5th of February, right? So this gate 12 card and caution, what it also suggests as well, because the 12th house is work, is sometimes this card asks you not to be too cautious. And so when it comes to your work, is there some offer or opportunity on the table that you're selling yourself short on by saying, oh, you know, that's not a sensible option, so I'll just stay in this position, I won't take the promotion and blah, 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 right? So you got to work this out for yourself and see how it applies to your life. With that said, I would love to read for you. If you love this Astro Tarot scope, if you want to get one of your own personally, you can do that on the link in the description box below. Let me know in the comments how all of this shapes up for you, because I'm really, really intrigued. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.